somebody wants
Alrighty, what is up YouTube? We're back at it again with another video. Today we have a deck profile featuring Dom and his
Beast Deity. Beast Deity. So, starter White Tiger. The starter matters a lot.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it matters with the grade 1 Beast Deity. So, the main grade 3, or main, the VR, Scarlet, or not Scarlet, Beast Deity Azure Dragon. On place, I can counterblast to draw a card, and then I have to call a card. And then when it gets called to rear guard, I have to swing. I get to do an attack on the opponent's Vanguard with it. If it doesn't hit, it stays down and rest. But if it doesn't hit, it goes back up. So it's literally an extra poke during the ride phase. And then it has another auto skill. When it swings, I counterblast one to stand a rear guard. So it's just a multi-attack, or if they let that extra attack hit and it stayed down, then you get to counterblast and just have it back up. So you can just have a maximum riser or anything really big. One maximum riser, just because it's really good axle target. And you can just combo with this for really strong early poke to draw, call this guy, swing for 32. And then you can counterblast one more time to stand him back up for a normal extra attack. Let's see. Incised Riser. He's really simple, so when he swings, he counterblasts, stand all rear guards in the additional rear guard circles. So stand up your axle targets. He's such a powerhouse in late game, because you could just be swinging with 3 axle circles at least, and then just keep on restanding cards like this and Brutal Jack. Or just call triggers like I normally do.
Do you have them sign the trigger when they lose with it?
Oh, no. I need have a kill count?
You killed me, so okay.
Ratio?
Going on to the grade 2s. Boomerang Thrower, he's super more relevant, more better now, just because of how many costs you're doing nowadays. So on place, if my damage is 1 or less face up, I get to countercharge 1. If my soul is 1 or less face up, I get soul charge 1. And then both conditions proc off if I'm in those. And it's a separate skill, so you activate one at a time. So here's the MVP. Black Tortoise. So his axe skill is Counterblast Soul Blast, stand him up, and then to do an attack on the opponent's van. If he does not hit, stand him back up. So he's just like the Azure Dragon on place, but he has it built in. So the idea with him is use this, do his on place, call him to the axle circle he just got, swing with 19, and then they have to decide to let it hit or not. If they let it hit, cool, you got damage on him, it stays down. And then you go to main phase, counterblast, soul blast, stand him, and then do another swing during main phase. So that's honestly the bread and butter of the combo of the deck right there. And otherwise, he's just really solid on your own as it is. He just doesn't self pump like other cards though. So he really needs a booster or axle circle. Then for Brutal Jack, on van / rear, he gets +10 when he swings. So he's a 19 beat stick. His other continuous is he can stand himself during stand phase, so when he goes stand, he stays in rest. But his axe skill is rest 2 other rear guards to stand him back up. Where that actually matters with cards like him, because it's like, okay, if he's stuck, you target him to rest and one other guy to bring him back up. Use his skill, stand back up to swing. And then it matters with another grade 1 later on as well. Let's see. In the grade 1s now, 2 of these. These are just really good grade 1s. You just throw on the axle circle. They PG your van. You're just gonna stand it back up for an extra poke. You run fronts in this build as well.
That's correct.
For Riser Custom, so on Vanguard Circle, if you're the first ride of the game, so if you go first and you get to ride, you can discard, well, axe skill, discard a card. You get to attack during the first turn of the game, but he's -1 drive. So you waste a card in hand just to get an extra damage in. And then his auto skill, once per turn, your when a rear guard within the same column stands, he stands back up as well. So it's like, oh, activate this, stand, he can stand up as well. but only once. But it matters with cards like Brillo Jack because you can pay your cost to rest him. So then, if he's stuck in rest, you rest these two. Stand, activate him, counterblast, soul blast. Stand, since he's stand.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Or if he wasn't on board, he can still do his effect. Could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure when you swing, you can do your boost. And then if they blocked it, cool. Stand.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's auto, yeah.
You got one for roll-ups now. Do you need help?
I'm good, thank you.
And then this guy, Mr. Stark. So on place during my main phase, Soul Blast, stand all of my units, and if 2 or more units stood and my starter is in the soul, I draw a card. So it matters when if you progged him off and you happen to prog him off as well, and let's say they just took the hits because they don't want to deal with an extra attack later, then they just stay in rest, then you get to just stand back up, and then you can just keep on going. Or if you're paying the cost for him, you can, if you're still at rest, you have 2 more guys, rest 2, stand, call, pay a Soul Blast, that, and draw 1 card. And then, let's see, the last of the grade ones, for Claydol Mechanic. Auto skill, when placed, if you have a total of 4 or less cards on your rear guard and in hand, you draw 1 card. So that skill alone, it encourages you to just early guard, intercept, just, it doesn't really matter. And then also if your cards are getting binded or getting retired, Kagura, Narukami, Link Joker, it just helps you come back if you just top deck it, just draw. It happens quite a lot of times. Its other auto skill is when you counterblast, when you just counterblast, he retires himself to countercharge. That skill doesn't come up too often, but it's there. You have another countercharge option because you have about 3 to 4 different counterblasts in this deck. So trigger lineup, it's going to be 6 front and 6 draw. You want to run the draws just so you have extra cards in hand, just so you can always have a board. I always just call these to the Axle circles for whenever I use Incise Riser or Axle Poke. And then fronts are super important because since you're doing attacks outside the battle phase, you're gonna worry about hitting damage checks. Well, fronts, they just fix that problem for you where they give your whole front row the damage cancel. And
man, XL2 soon we're gonna have the front triggers go to 8.
Yep, when XL hits, that's a different story. It's probably gonna be 8 front. And 4 heal. Because that's what it is. I mean, unless you want to be cheesy and run, some crits in there, but it's kind of a bad idea. Because
What do you mean? That's a great idea.
Shut up.
Alright.
That's all.
Any last words or anything like that?
Pretty cool deck. Honestly, he's hella strong.
Yeah.
This card's hella strong. It puts in more work than this guy. And he does hella off of 1 counterblast. He just ramps up late game, like after the 2nd or 3rd ride.
Alright, again guys, stay tuned for more videos. Thanks again, Dominic, for showcasing your deck.
No
Till next
problem.
time, guys.